Hey everybody! To start off today's tutorial, I want to tell you a super sad story. My file of my video from yesterday got corrupted. This is my messy grid paper from the awesome project that I filmed for 20 minutes and don't have anything to show for would be. So I'm sad. But I'm bringing you another quick video. This time I have been enabled by Jennifer McGuire, Queen of Enablers, into these Zig Clean Color markers. So I'm trying them out today. I will say they come individually wrapped, which if you buy a set of 48 or 60, and maybe it's just my set, maybe they don't all come this way, is kind of a lot of work. So I'm not a fan of that. However, when you get past it and you get into these markers, I think you'll really love them. They truly do have a brush tip that takes a second to get used to because they look like a traditional marker. So that soft brush tip it's just different when you're coloring. But man, do these things work. They are very easy to blend while they're wet. You'll see when I'm working on the yellow that I just put down up at the top that it blends really easily. And then as I move down into the drier colors, I'm adding just a little bit of water. You can see the color doesn't move as much. So in this way, they sort of remind me of Derwent Inktense pencils, actually, except in a water-based format. And so they're really fun. It's fun to have a water-based marker that does some of those similar things, where you can sort of layer color, which is what I'm doing here, over some layers which have dried already. Or you can work with them a little bit more quickly when they're wet, and you can blend either marker to marker, which is what I did in my awesome 20-minute video that's in the ether last night. And that works beautifully. Or you can blend the markers with water. Either way. They're really fun. I'll do some more detailed coloring with them later. But today, I just wanted to use these as the basis for the Mixability Challenge that I'm hosting tomorrow at Splitcoast Stampers. That's our Friday Mixed Media Challenge, so I invite you to join us. This is our 121st challenge, and it's all about the quads. It's bathing suit season, so we're going to pretend that we're exercising and we're going to work on our quads for this challenge. And the reason I called it a quad challenge is I want you to use 4 different mediums on your cards. You can pick the 4. We have a great list in the forum. So I will link you to that in my blog post and you can check it out. Now I've got my embossing buddy out. My first medium is the water-based markers. My second medium is going to be a little bit of embossing powder. And even though I've already dried this with my heat gun, I really do need the embossing buddy just to make sure that nothing sticks. And I'm using my widest Post-it tape for masking. And as always, when I'm masking a straight line, I use my grid paper to help me line up the tape. First line up the card panel on a vertical and then the tape. And then I'm going to take my Versa marker. Love my Versa marker. And I'm using the fine tip. And I'm just going to draw a straight line against the edge of that Post-it tape several times. I want to make sure it's still wet by the time I get my embossing powder on it. And I love these little containers. These were another Jennifer McGuire enablement. But they're great because they hold the spoon on the lid. And it's just very clean and compact. So you can see it's sticking to this nice straight line. This is Stampin' Up! Gold embossing powder. A nice shiny gold. And I'm sorry it's raining outside, so it's a little bit dark outside my window. I'm really done with the rain. Really done with it. I think the rain is actually what ruined my video. Somebody on Facebook suggested that, and I think that's true because rain is evil. Now I'm just taking a fine paintbrush. I noticed right before I was going to heat emboss this that I do have a few grains of embossing powder clinging. Watercolor paper tends to hang on to the embossing powder a little bit more than cardstock does, so just keep an eye out. I'm just going to hold it down with my bone folder and heat emboss it. This goes pretty quickly because it's just a super skinny little line. And it gives me a nice, fun pop of texture and just a little reflective quality on top of that watercolor. Next, I'm going to add my next two mediums. So now I have two. I have the watercolor and I have embossing. I'm going to add some white gel pen. I love to have just little pops of pure white, especially with watercolor paper, since none of it is really just a bright white. As a clean and simple card maker, I miss that bright white. And I think I subconsciously add it in one way or another to every project. Now I have some fluorescent pink golden fluid acrylic. I love this stuff. I've hoarded this little bottle forever. I got it at Golden Demo and I love it so much. And I just pour a little bit on my fingers and then flick it onto the project. And it really adds a fun pop. I haven't found anything that I can get this color out of other than this paint, and so I love to use it whenever I can. So there's my little quad project. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching.